show you how I did this design inspired on a Christmas tree. And also I'm gonna be creating some 3D details using gel, but I'm gonna tell you about that in just a little bit. And if you guys like to see these type of Christmas tutorials, make sure that you subscribe because I'm gonna be posting a bunch of them. But to start with, I'm gonna be creating this thin layer of crystal clear acrylic because this is going to serve me as a base to be able to create an ombre design. But something different about this is that on the tip of the nail, I'm gonna be creating this type of marble effect, and I'm gonna be using this lighter green, this darker green, as well as a little bit of these white sparkles. And this is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is apply the colors and then use your brush and move it around until it looks the way that you like it. What I do is that I create some liquid beads so I can move them around. And also I'm gonna be applying some more of these sparkles because I feel like the whole design is gonna look better this way. And now that I have the tip done, since this is an ombre design, I'm gonna be using this beige acrylic. And to do this type of effect is actually pretty easy. All you have to do is also create kind of liquid beads and then drag them down with your brush, just like I did on the video. And when you do this type of designs, the most important part is to make sure that both colors kind of melt together. Now that I have this done, I'm also going to encapsulate this nail with some more of the same crystal clear acrylic, especially on the tip since we did this marble design and we added a little bit of sparkles. What you have to make sure here is that everything is well covered, and I'm going to be adding some of this acrylic on top of the beige because I feel like it's going to connect everything and it's going to make the nails stronger. And of course, just like I always do, I'm gonna apply some pressure on the sides. You guys know that this step is so important because it's going to make your nail look more natural. Now moving on to the second one, the first thing that I did is that I applied the form and I closed it off so I'm able to create this coffin shape. And on the second nail, it's actually going to be very simple because I'm not going to be doing any type of encapsulated nails or ombre design. I'm going to be creating this nail like I would usually do. So I'm going to apply the first bead between the natural nail and the form, and slowly using my brush, I'm going to drag the acrylic downwards until the nail is pretty long, because today's video I'm going to be doing pretty long nails like you guys can tell. And now that I have the shape done, I'm going to apply the last bead and I'm going to make sure that everything is well covered. But when you guys do this, remember not to touch the cuticle or the skin because that can make your nail lift. And of course, remember to apply some pressure on the sides. And this is how the second nail looks like. Now moving on to the third one. Here, I'm also going to start by creating this thin crystal clear base, but it's going to be a little bit different because I'm not going to be creating an ombre design. I'm going to tell you what I did in just a little bit, but when you guys do this step, make sure that the base is as thin as possible because it's going to be complicated to file it and the nail can end up looking a little bit chunky. Now that I have this done, I'm going to start by using the same beige acrylic, but this time I'm going to apply it up near the cuticle. What I'm going to try to do here is kind of like a different design. I'm going to try to make sure to create a straight line with the acrylic. It's a little bit hard to explain, but I hope that you guys can see it better on the video. I'm going to be using my brush to create this straight line. I think that this type of designs are really unique, but I really like how they look like. And since I wanted this line to be as straight as possible, I'm going to be using this file and I'm going to file it a little bit. You guys don't have to do this step, this is just something extra. And now I'm going to be applying some of these sparkles. I'm going to start with the white one. And I'm just going to be adding a little bit, not too much. I'm also going to try to follow the straight line. Now that I'm done with the white sparkles, I'm going to do the exact same thing with these gold ones. I'm just going to put it right on top. And to finish up creating this third nail, I'm going to apply some more of this beige acrylic, but not too much, just on the tip of the nail. And just like I done earlier, I'm going to try to make it as straight as possible. And since we added some sparkles, we still have to encapsulate this little part. So I'm gonna be adding some of the same crystal clear acrylic, and I'm gonna put a little bit on top of the beige acrylic so everything can be connected. And don't forget to add some pressure on the sides. And this is how the third nail looks like. Now moving on to the last one for this tutorial, and this one is going to be pretty much like the first one. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the thin crystal clear base so I can create this ombre design. Now that I have this done, I'm gonna start applying the green acrylic so I can create the marble effect. And the reason why I chose green is because I wanted it to match with the Christmas tree, so I thought it'd be a good choice. And just like I told you earlier, I'm gonna try to make these beads kind of liquid so I can move them around. And also something that I try to do is that I apply them on top of each other so it can be easy to mix. The good thing about marble designs is that they're kind of abstract, so you can kind of make whatever you want. And also, just like I've done earlier, I'm still gonna apply some more sparkles because I just really like how they look like. Now to create the ombre design, I'm gonna use the same beige acrylic, and I'm just gonna keep dragging it downwards until both of the colors mix. Now I'm gonna add the last bead, and I'm gonna make sure that everything is well covered. And to finish up, I'm gonna encapsulate this nail, especially the tip. Just make sure that everything is well covered. And just like I've been doing all along, I'm gonna apply some pressure on the sides. And this is how these acrylic nails look like. Like you guys can tell, they don't look perfect, but that's why I would say that filing is one of the most important steps. When I file nails, I like to start by filing the sides, and since these are coffin shape, I'm gonna try to follow the natural look that it has. This is how the nails look like after filing the sides. Now they look a lot more defined. And the last step is to file the surface, and I like doing this using my e-file. Here what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna be filing down these nails until they're pretty thin, and also if there's any bumps left behind, I'm gonna file it. This is how the nails look like, and now we can move on and create the design. To do this, I'm gonna be mixing a bunch of different gel polishes, all of them green. I'm gonna be using different tones, one that is lighter, one that is kind of medium, and another one that is darker. And to create the Christmas tree, it's honestly very easy. All you have to do is make these straight lines. And it's also going to be kind of struck, so you don't really have to worry too much about it. I'm gonna start using the medium green, and I'm gonna create the base of the tree. Now that I have the base done, I'm gonna start filling up this tree using the same color, but this time I'm gonna make smaller lines. Now I'm gonna move on and start using the darker green, and I'm also gonna create some of these lines. I think that it's great to be mixing different tones because it makes the tree look more realistic. And to finish up, I'm gonna be mixing a little bit of white gel polish and create this very light green, and I'm also gonna be adding some of it on the tree. When you guys are doing this, make sure that you cure each color as you go on, because otherwise what can happen is that everything can mix. And this is how the tree looks like, but since it's a Christmas tree, we have to add some lights and some details. So I'm gonna be using a bunch of different colors, some yellow, purple, red, blue, green, and I'm gonna be adding some of these dots so it can look like a bunch of lights. Of course, I'm also going to create a star on top using the yellow gel polish. Now that the Christmas tree is done, we can start adding some of the 3D details using this transparent gel. I recommend you guys to use a transparent one because otherwise it can end up looking a little bit messy. And this is actually kind of easy. All you have to do is also create these straight lines. When you guys do this, make sure to leave some space between because it's gel. So what can happen is that everything can end up mixing. And I'm just gonna be doing a couple of them. And something that I try to do is to put most of the product on the sides and then use my brush and drag it upwards. Also, I recommend you to cure each one as you go on for about 60 seconds. And I'm gonna add a little bit of the gel on top of the star. And this is how the tree ended up looking. Now moving on to the third nail here, I'm also going to make a more so simple design. I'm gonna start by using this red gel polish, and here I'm gonna make this type of bow like if it was a Christmas present. The first thing I'm going to do is create the outline and start filling it in. Now that I have this done, I'm going to be using this black gel paint, and I'm going to go over the outline of the bow. And to finish up this third nail, I'm going to be creating this type of sweater design that I've done a bunch of times, but I think that it's so simple. All I'm going to do is make this thicker line with the lighter green, and then use the darker one and make these 3 thinner ones. And to finish up, I'm going to be adding this thin line with the black gel paint. And this is how the design looks like, but now we have to add a little bit of top coat, which is one of my favorite parts of doing encapsulated nails, especially when I add sparkles, because you can really get to see how everything turned out. And on the second one, I'm gonna try not to touch too much the tree since we added the gel 3D art. I'm gonna finish up adding the top coat, and then I'm gonna cure everything for about 60 seconds. And this is how the final design ended up looking. I love creating this inspired Christmas tree design. I think that adding some of this gel makes it look even better. I hope that you guys can see it good on the video. I know that it can seem a little bit complicated, but if you follow step by step, I'm sure that you can do it as well. If you guys like this tutorial, make sure that you subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!